Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine.
Hey up, we're well into 2022 now, and it's that time of year where I start to think about projects for the coming year. And if you've followed this channel for any length of time, you'll know that that usually entails selecting a new motorcycle for the channel, something popular, and sharing my experience of ownership. Now, before we get into that too deeply, if you enjoy this video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. I've been patient, and if you decide to watch my videos without subscribing, I'm afraid you've forced my hand. I'm going to have to take action, and I will sneak into your house while you're asleep at night, steal your motorcycle boots and replace them with pink flip-flops. You've been warned. I suppose I should apologise for this music as well. The title seemed appropriate, but yeah, not so sure now. I've always been quite open about my love for Royal Enfield motorcycles. It's something that's deeply ingrained in my DNA, if you like, which has only been strengthened by the development of the brand over recent years. They no longer make the quirky, eccentric products that they were well known for in the past, which has only served to reinforce my Royal Enfield addiction. Last year I test rode the Royal Enfield Meteor 350, a bike that I absolutely was not interested in, only to find myself falling ever so slightly in love with it by the end of the ride, re-evaluating my opinion and position on a motorcycle that was less than 500cc. And I have ever since harboured thoughts that maybe this would be the 2022 project bike. I think the only thing that held me off from coming to a decision was the rumours that the Super Meteor was going to be released late last year, but it didn't appear. But they did announce the new 350 Classic, which for me just muddied the waters even more. Royal Enfield's bullet-derived models are iconic, and whilst other motorcycle manufacturers have introduced similar concepts to their range of bikes, no one, in my opinion, has ever come close to capturing the essence of what the bullet-derived models represent in the motorcycle market. The longest continually produced model of motorcycle in the entire history of motorcycles. Almost 100 years. It's never happened before, and it will never happen again. Now, my classic 500, I think it's safe to say, has become my favourite all-time motorcycle. It's like a comfortable pair of slippers or a well broken in motorcycle helmet. It's the bike I gravitate to most of all. It does exactly what I want a motorcycle to do, and of all the touring trips that I've undertaken over the years on bikes, last year's trip around the Yorkshire Dales on my classic 500, affectionately known as the Mule, was the most enjoyable bike trip I've ever experienced. So, as the all-new 350 Classic starts to trickle into the UK, it's time for me to make a decision. Now, when I reviewed the Meteor last year, I did comment that the frame was very Bullet-esque, and it seemed quite clear that the new 350 single engine had been given a very classic aesthetic, reminiscent of the old pre-unit lump that Royal Enfield had previously used on the Bullet models. So both bikes share the same 20.2 bhp engine with 27 Nm of torque at 4,000 revs per minute. They both have the same twin down tube spine frame. So just like the 650 Interceptor and the Continental GT 650, to all intents and purposes, you've got more or less the same bike in two different cosmetic iterations. But just like the Continental GT and the Interceptor, differences in seating position, handlebar height, and foot peg location can substantially change the handling characteristics, making both bikes feel very different. And that's the magic ingredient that's missing from my decision making process at the moment, because I've not had the opportunity to test ride the Classic 350, something that I am intending to remedy over the next few weeks. Only a handful of dealers in the UK have demonstrators so far, and it's not absolutely clear at the moment what availability is going to be like on these bikes for 2022 in the UK. Now, just like the other 3 new Royal Enfield models that we've seen appear on the market over the last few years, once again, the build quality does appear to have stepped up to a level more acceptable to Western customers. I don't think the older Bullets really deserved the bad reputation that they had for build quality, but they were a little on the agricultural side, which, to be honest, suited the sort of adventurous, rugged, go anywhere you like personality of the bike. The important thing is, and I'm going by the images that are available online, is that Royal Enfield, despite upping their game in fit and finish with a brand new 350 Classic, have managed to do it in such a way that none of the original Classic DNA has been lost. In fact, I'm tempted to say that the new Classic 350 is the bike that the old Classics wanted to be but never quite achieved, without losing what made the old Classics iconic. Now, I've spoken to Royal Enfield about these 2 models, and I'm told they have a top speed of around about 74 miles per hour, which should give an easy cruising speed of 60 to 65. I know that's not earth-shattering performance, but the new engines do deliver it in a far more civilised, smooth manner. And just to preempt some comments, if that's not enough for you, why are you watching this video? These 2 bikes are 350cc singles, and in this brave new world of telemetry boxes and speed cameras, personally I think it's enough. It's enough for commuting, it's enough for a relaxed Sunday afternoon's riding, and it's enough for touring. Both the Meteor 350 and the Classic 350 are very similarly priced, but they do both cater for very different tastes, or maybe just different moods. It does appear to me that the general configuration of the chassis and the engine were originally designed with a Classic in mind. And I don't think it's fair to call the Meteor an afterthought. I do think that the Classic configuration was first and foremost in the mind of the Royal Enfield designers when the engine and chassis was created, with the Meteor built around that to offer an alternative for those that are not into the Classic designs. If that's the case, it made sense that the Meteor be released first, because it could have detracted from its launch if the Classic had preceded it. As you'll probably know, the Meteor is available in 3 trim levels, and if I was to go for the Meteor, it would be the mid trim level that I think I would be attracted to. The top trim level is a little bit too Harley-esque for my taste. Obviously, I'll go into more detail when it comes to publishing a review of the Classic, but although internationally it's available in 5 trim levels, MotoGP have told me that it's only going to be available in 3 trim levels here in the UK. That is the Halcyon, the Dark and the Chrome trim levels, with just £200 or £300 separating the Halcyon from the Chrome. As it stands at the moment, the Redditch and the Signals versions are not going to be available. Whether that will be permanent or whether that is just the initial offering, I'm not quite sure at the moment. I've got to admit, despite already having the Classic 500, I am leaning more towards the Classic 350 for this year's bike, although I haven't absolutely made my mind up yet. I think that will depend on the test ride. But feel free to let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section. Which would you go for? Which would you like to see on this channel? The Classic 350 or the 350 Meteor? And depending on your preference, which trim level? I would love to know. Once again, thank you so much for watching this and my other videos, and in doing so helping to support this channel. You know I appreciate it. I will of course be back on Friday, so until then, please ride safely and I'll see you soon.